Well, they have access to emotion in ways that we didn't. They were all raised by feminist mothers, and it had its impact. But the problem is, I see these guys and they're all whining that women aren't attracted to them, and there's a reason for that. A lot of guys who get in touch with the emotion and the sort of more heartfelt issues bring along with it traditional male privilege. So it's like, I'm emotional now, come and take care of me. And a lot of the women are complaining that these guys are kind of children. They don't stand up. The issue is this. Can you be big-hearted and open and emotional and show up and be responsible and be giving? The thing that hasn't changed for a lot of us guys is giving. Back in the 50s, and it was stoic, it's about me. I show up and I'm responsible in ways that our younger guys are less responsible than our dads were. That's all true. But I go out and I fight dragons and I come home and where's my martini and slippers? Then the 60s came on and feminism and, okay, it's okay to have feelings. It might even be okay to be a little bit vulnerable. But it's still about me. And when I talk about progressive masculinity, I want men who are big-hearted, strong, connected, and giving. And that's missing both in the traditional patriarchal model and in many of the countercultural models. What's missing in our culture, I'm going to fade back from men for a moment and talk about generally. What's missing in our culture generally is relationality. What's missing in our culture is the beauty of connection. And look, you follow the science. I've been saying this for 40 years, and now the science is really very clear. Being connected, being intimate with yourself and with others, that's what we humans are born for. That's how we're designed. We're pack animals. And the lack of intimate connection is not only bad for us psychologically, but I think it was Vivek Murthy who quoted, it's as bad as smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes a day on your body. We are born to be connected and related. And I wrote about male depression back in the 90s. What I said is the way we, quote, turn boys into men is through disconnection. We tell them to disconnect from their hearts, less so younger men, disconnect from others, that's being independent and autonomous. And the cost of disconnection is disconnection. And some men have recovered more feeling inside their skin, but they haven't developed the art of connection. I deal with, just like you and many of your I deal with high rollers in my practice. And one of the things that I teach these guys is the difference between gratification and what I call relational joy. Gratification is just what you think, a short-term hit of pleasure. And our culture loves gratification. And, these captains of industry who come in and fly their private planes in to see me, they're all about gratification. And they've done beautifully at it. They're rich, they're powerful. That's great in its place. I like pleasure. There's a deeper pleasure that I call relational joy. And you get that as a parent. Sometimes your kids are gratifying. Sometimes you want to throw them through the goddamn window. But if anybody said, hey, we could do a time machine and you don't have to have this, I'd deck you, because there's a deeper down joy in just being there and being connected, just being in the relationship. And that's been lost in our culture. We live in an anti-relational, narcissistic culture. And even though some of the terms of patriarchy have moved, the narcissism and the lack of relationality has not moved. It's just a different variation.